I'm Philip Deal, and this is my partner, Mackenzie Brewster. We're Team 2 Auburn Tigers, covering silo manufacturing. Our scenario, conflict at SMC is finance versus purchasing. It's really over order sizes. Finance wants to know if it's more cost effective to order smaller amounts, and procurement is interested in ordering larger amounts. We are comparing 4 versus 32 cases. We're trying to use an EOQ model to determine the optimal order amount. This is our question 1, finance versus purchasing. We use the inputs provided on the SMC case, 10,752 units, $48 per order, $36 per unit per year, and each case contains 15 units. The question was, is Ferguson's proposal of 4 better or worse than Petresky's proposal of 32 cases? Our results, we came out to ordering costs and holding costs are equaling out. They're both totaling $9,677 per year. Our interpretation, the totals are identical, and there is not much of a trade-off with either one. So in this case, there is no cost difference between ordering 4 or 32 cases. This sets the stage for why we look at EOQ in question 2. Economic order quantity, question 2. The number of cases that we're recommending, we found out that we should recommend 11 cases or 165 units per order. That comes out to about $6,085 per year. Our calculation, using our inputs from the previous page, 10,750 units, an order of 58, or order cost of $48, holding cost of $36. Our EOQ came out with 170 units per order, 11.3. We rounded to 11 because you can't order 0.3% of a case. We also found out that the best choice at 11, but 10 or 12 also gives you some flexibility if you feel like holding a little extra inventory. But the cost difference is very minimal. The robustness of EOQ, using the EOQ formula, the perfect size, 170 units, but since parts of the ordered in cases of 15 units each, the company should either order about 165 to 11 cases or 180 to 12. 170 units EOQ, the annual cost is about 6,082. Rounding down to 165 units raises cost slightly to 6,085, but only 0.04% higher. Rounding up to 180 units gives 6,093, which is 0.17% higher than the EOQ. Ultimately, our conclusion helps us find the understanding between the robustness of EOQ. Procurement managers do not need to hit the exact EOQ, but you would like to have the smallest percentage error possible. And here we recommended ordering 12 to give a little extra inventory for demand.
So in part B, we'll be covering that the new inventory manager is wanting to reduce the inventories by 8.9%, as well as set 3 goals, which is going to be that sales is going to increase, excuse me, by 9.6%. Finance is going to reduce their carrying cost, and then also purchasing. We're also going to take a look at the ordering cost in order to reduce the inventory target for under the scenarios. So we'll look into the just-in-time ordering and how that impacts ordering cost. And then we're going to make 3 recommendations at the end. So for question 4, what are the ordering costs needed for Davis to meet the inventory reduction goal if sales are increased by 9.6%? So we're going to determine the new demand, which we're going to take the 10,752 units and multiply that point by 1.09%. 1.096, which is going to give you the percentage of the 9.6, which is going to give you a total new demand of 11,791 units. Then we're going to find the new target EOQ, which you're going to take the 170 units times 1.91, which is going to give you a new target of 155. Then you're going to plug all of that into your EOQ formula, which is going to give you a new ordering cost of 39.84. For question 5, what would the cost to place an order be for Davis to meet his new inventory reduction objective if sales achieve their goal, finance controller achieves a goal to reduce the cost of carry from 32.32% to 29.4%? So you're going to determine your new holding cost, which is going to be 0.294 times 1.112, which gives you 32.92928. Then you're going to use your original same target, which is going to be 155. Plug that all into the new EOQ formula, and that's going to give you 39.88. To get the new inventory of reduction objectives, your required ordering cost would be 39.88 per order. So for question 6, the question is what would the cost be to place an order and need to be for Davis to meet his inventory reduction if sales achieves their goal, finance achieves their goal, and the purchasing director achieves his goal of reducing the average cost per unit by 5.2%. So in this question, we're able to determine that your order cost is $48 per order, your holding cost is $36 per unit per year, and you have your original demand of 10,752 units. In order to 5.2% price cut lowers the unit from $112 to $100, 106.18, which is going to reduce the overall holding cost to $33.98. With the finance only effect, you're finding out that the order cost is going to go from $48 to $39.84 per order, which is going to overall shrink the EOQ by the 8.9%. If you combine the finance and the purchasing effect, you determine that the required order cost comes down a little to 37.6 per order, and the overall of the question is that Davis needs to reduce the order placement from a cost to roughly 37.6 per unit. Question 7 what would the cost to place an order need to be if Davis implemented a just-in-time approach to the ordering one unit at a time is the optimal ordering quantity. So in this, we use the just-in-time delivery process. We're setting the order unit size to 1. By rearranging the EOQ formula, we find out that the optimal will be 0.00167 per order. If you see on the right, we have our tables where we plugged in all the formula in order to determine that the overall just-in-time ordering cost. In this, we're able to, the question helps us determine that there's key principles of the just-in-time method. And in our case, that the current ordering cost is $48 makes the just-in-time process impractical because of the administration cost outweighs the savings of the just-in-time delivery. So how to reduce the cost to place an order. So we came up with 3 recommendations in this for the overall case, and it's going to be the automation of the purchasing process, use the blanket agreement or BPAs, and streamline receiving and payment. So in this process of automation, the purchasing process, we would implement things like procurement or SAP Arima, which many companies use. It just helps replace, your paperwork, your emails, and just approvals of your workflows. It cuts down your administration cost. Another thing is blanket purchasing agreements. This is just basically negotiating annual contracts with suppliers so that many companies for raw materials, specifically Ford, they use it for steel vendors. They use contracts versus making every single purchase under a new PO. They're able to just streamline their processes and able to do more bulk orders versus every single new process, every new PO. Then streamlining receiving and payments. This just integrates EDI and supplier portals. So you're able to have the same information going both ways between the customer and the supplier so that everybody has the same PO and receipt matching. It also reduces the back office effort and it cuts down on your overall processing by 30 to 60%. And also it speeds up your payments as well. So these three practical steps between automation and blanket contracts and digital invoicing, they're just major companies use that to help shrink their order costs and to move to a just-in-time efficiency for delivery. So that is our presentation, and thanks for listening.